Hey everyone, how's it going? I don't mean to sound like a broken record by restating things I might have said in a previous video, but I feel that there's a decent amount of information that you can pick up on in the game that isn't like just obviously shown to you. You're about to see here, as I'm pushing up into the mid-ridge of Prohorovka, that I'm going to be spotted, and I don't spot anything, which will indicate that I haven't been spotted from light tanks surfing the mid-ridge, and that I have actually been spotted by a light tank, or even a medium tank, I guess, that is pushed up to the line of bushes here to my left, over in E1. And now since I know that's where I got spotted from, I tried to blind fire a bit there to see if I can either get the scout to back off or just kill it outright. The Centurion 7.1 has some nice regular HE shells. They have 105mm of penetration, which is already pretty decent for HE. If you go with the premium HE shells, the hash, your penetration doubles to 210mm, as long as you hit flat armor and actually penetrate. If you hit tracks or spaced armor, then you're going to do less damage, obviously. Now another thing you can pick up on is where tanks might be when they shoot you and are unlit. When I poke this ridge here, I'm going to take a shot for 575 damage. And what that tells me is that there's an E75 somewhere on the one line. How do I know it's an E75? Well, because there is no other tank on the enemy team that can roll up to 575 damage. So that lets me know that I don't necessarily want to, poke this ridge too far, otherwise I'm going to get shot for quite a bit of damage. But at the same time, I do want to light the enemies here for my team. It also means that I don't necessarily want to push on any seemingly isolated enemy tanks, this T-29. And pushing into the bowl in front of me as well would be somewhat suicidal. Because if you're on the one line, you can move close to the actual map boundary, which is higher up than, or puts you on a higher plane than the mid-ridge. So that allows you to get shots onto the tanks that are either trying to surf the ridge or just poking like I am. So most of our team have either located on the 6th line or on the 0 line and are on the hill. Our team on the hill actually pushes up and doesn't sit on the back edge, which is always nice to see. I've noticed a lot of people sitting on the back edge of that hill, and it just, I never see it work out, so it's nice to see them actually being aggressive. Because it doesn't look like the enemies have a whole lot that can actually shoot them from the 6th line. It looks like our guys on the 6th line are actually keeping them down a decent amount, which is also nice to see. So I'll just finish off this apparently very oblivious Tiger 2. And the T-29 as well. Now I am, well, not really isolated here from the rest of my team. I do have a Lorraine 42 that can back me up, but I also want to be conscious of what might be coming down the one line, because we have no vision over there anymore. Our RU-251 has died, and our other scout, the T-49, is dead as well. I think we still have a 1390, but he is sitting over in the town for whatever reason. The enemy light tanks have actually stopped surfing the ridge, which I thought was interesting. I guess they wanted to move over to the 6th line to support their hill guys, but I don't know how much they actually end up doing to their team there. Now the enemies on the 1 line have sort of pushed halfway, and they're just all congregating here in the EF1-2 region. So I also don't really want to be poking the ridge anymore. I don't want to get shot by an invisible Centurion 1 or AT-15 or the E-75 as well. So, I mean, if I got pushed by those guys, I would die pretty quickly. The Centurion isn't fast enough to really relocate like most other mediums are. I mean, it's not slow, but 40 kph is not the greatest. And here I'm just wondering, like, why my team isn't actually taking care of this RU-251. It's pretty obvious that he's alone in that trough there. So I decided to just go and do it myself. The Lorraine on our team wanted me to get eyes on the 1 line, which I guess I could have done, but I didn't end up seeing what he said. And see, I keep going to get down into this depression here. You don't want to sit up in the open. You always want to have some sort of hard cover between you and an enemy. So, like, now the enemies are kind of clustered into one relatively small area. Unfortunately though, our team consists of a bunch of one-shot tanks. So ideally what I would have liked my team to do is just to kind of chill back and let me try and work on the enemy team. See where I can light them from and deal damage. Like, I spotted that Centurion there. Unfortunately, I only track him, and he's able to get away before I can finish him off. But the AT-15 does fire at me, which gets him spotted. The AT-15 has better DPM than the Centurion. Like, the Centurion's DPM with the 105 is not fantastic, but DPM is not really what this tank is meant for. It's more like a support sniper kind of tank. But as long as I can control this engagement, I can out-trade this AT-15, and hopefully even bounce shots off my turret like that, so I don't have to trade as much. Because, see, when you have hard cover between you and an enemy, and you can control the engagement like I am here, just poking up when I'm reloaded, I can actually out-DPM the AT-15, which is funny. Or at least I find it amusing. So, I see that the enemy E-75 and 1390 are pushing on our guys, and the E-75 is almost full health, so I want to take care of this AT-15 as quickly as possible, as well as the Centurion. Well, actually no. The Centurion I kind of just decide to leave, because he's not really that much of a threat, I felt, at the time. The E-75 and the 1390 were both in the open, so I wanted to get them dead as quickly as possible. And for whatever reason, this E-75 just turns his side and rear armor on towards me, and the friendly E-75, like, maybe he was thinking he was going to go push our friendly IS-8 that's over on the K-line, but I have no idea. It was just baffling. Enemy armor destroyed. So I decide not to actually go and look for the 1390, instead go for the enemy Centurion. As I figured, the 1390 is probably going to be clipping at that point, so he's not really that much of a threat to me, or the rest of my team. Plus there's a full health E75 on my team that's pretty close to him, and hopefully that E75 would not die to a 1390. I have no idea where that shot landed and how it did not do damage. Maybe it went super low and only hit his road wheels. But I'm able to finish him off. And for the first time in over like 300 games, I think it is, in my Centurion, I finally get a Top Gun. So, yay. But I don't know, I usually find this tank is just too slow to do cleanup, or I'm just not playing aggressive enough in it. I'm not really sure. But I do like the tank a lot. And here I was like, okay, so I should be able to spot the 1390 from here, or if he's still there, he would light me, right? So since my Sixth Sense didn't go off, I decide that he's run all the way back around the K line back to the 1 line is going north. He was actually still in those bushes, and I just never became unlit. So that's why my Sixth Sense never went off. And in my rush to do a little extra damage, I kind of ding one off the side of our E20 or E25, E75, and gets finished off by the E75. So yeah, Top Gun, Ace Tanker, not my first ace, but always nice to see. 5,307 regular damage, as well as nearly 1,200 assistance, and a base experience of 1,392, which is always nice to see. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and maybe I'll catch you next time. And until then, happy hunting.